Hello everyone, welcome to Think to Flow. This is going to be episode 1 of the Elden Ring playthrough Templar edition. And today we're going to be talking about all of the prep work that we're going to do prior to starting our adventure. Now, this is recommended that you follow a similar path or you collect the similar items in any adventure that you begin. And the reason why is it's going to begin you with starting gear that you're going to want, especially when it comes to our flask. Alright, it's going to give us the upgrade materials that we need for our flask so that we can kind of get all the FP and health that we need throughout the beginning of the game. And so for this episode, I'm going to utilize the map to kind of walk through where we went and what we did, and kind of just show you the locations of the map on where to pick up these items. This way the episode is going to be a little bit shorter with the prep work, because grabbing all of this stuff can take anywhere between 40 minutes to about an hour, maybe 2 hours, depending on how much you are exploring or how well you know the path. Now, this isn't the only route that you can take, but it is a decent route, one that works out for me pretty well whenever I start a new character. So when you first start out, you're going to go through the beginning area, go through the cutscenes, and then you're going to end up in the Cave of Knowledge. You'll work your way through the Cave of Knowledge and you come out, and you're going to make your entry into Lindale. Now, once you get into Lindale, you're going to come out of the cave, and you're going to make your way over here, and there's going to be an NPC located right here on top of this hill. You're going to talk to him, exhaust his dialogue, and you're going to notice a world boss here, the Tree Sentinel. We're going to bypass him. You can kind of hug this western side here, and we're going to make our way up to the Church of Ella. There we'll meet a merchant, which we're going to buy the crafting bag from, and also there's a blacksmithing table. We'll collect all the gear that we need from there, exhaust his dialogue, and then from the church side of Grace, we're going to head northeast along this main road here until we hit this little fork in the road right here. Now, we don't want to enter the Gatefront Ruins just yet, but instead we want to make our way over here to the side of Grace. Once we rest at that side of Grace, we'll meet an NPC who will give us our mount, right? He'll give us a torrent, and also we'll start a quest line that we need for her to follow along. Once we do that, you can head into the Gatefront Ruins. There's going to be a pillar right there in the middle of the Gatefront Ruins, and there's a map fragment. We're going to pick up the map fragment, which is going to kind of unlock this portion of the map for us so that we can see what's going on. From there, you can fast travel or make your way back down to the Church of Ella. And at nighttime, there's going to be an NPC who appears, and that NPC is going to give us a spirit calling bell and also our first summonable item. So we want to talk to her at night, exhaust her dialogue, she gives us a summon. From there, you can fast travel back to the Gatefront Ruin. At the Gatefront Ruin, we're going to make our way west along this main road. We're just going to bypass or run past all of these enemies here and make our way along this road. Once we come out, somewhere around here in this general vicinity, you're going to see a golden tree. You want to pick up the golden seed that's there. From there, we'll make our way continuing along this road until we hit this side of Grace at the Stormhill Shack. Inside the Stormhill Shack, there's an NPC. We'll exhaust her dialogue, and then eventually she'll make her way to the Round Table Hold. Once you exhaust her dialogue, there's also a stone sword key here that we're going to pick up. From here, we're going to continue northbound along this main road until we hit this bridge here. There's an NPC there that we can talk to, and then we're going to continue along. There's an item here at the end of the bridge, and then the bridge kind of dead ends. But right here, this cliff face is actually connected to the bridge, so we can go ahead and hop on down there. Now, there is a scarab over here with an Ash of War, so if you want to, you can go ahead and kill it, pick up the Ash of War. From there, we're going to make our way up this ridge line, and we're going to hit the wall of the castle here, and we're just going to make our way along the eastern side of the castle. It's going to bring us all the way around this wall, and eventually we're going to hit a site of Grace, this lake-facing cliffs. We'll go ahead and activate that site of Grace, and then short distance from there, you're going to see a church, right? The Church of Erith. And inside of the Church of Erith, there's going to be a sorcerer, who will sell us spells if you're doing a spell build. And also inside of there is a tier that we can use to upgrade our flask. From there, you can go ahead and fast travel back to the Stormhill Shack. At the Stormhill Shack, we're going to make our way eastbound until we hit the Warmaster Shack. And there, Knight Baronal, he sells Ashes of War. So we're going to exhaust his dialogue. He has a quest for us. And then if you want to pick up any Ashes of War, you can from there. Once we hit that place, we're going to go ahead and continue eastbound. There's an enemy camp here. We're going to bypass that. You can go right through it. I like to hug the eastern side to not run through the middle of the camp. and make our way around. We're going to have the east side of this cliff face here, and then there's a path that leads up to it that leads us up here. We want to go up there because stuck in the ground is an NPC. Talk to the NPC around here. He'll ask you to help him out. Then you just give him a few whacks with your sword, and he comes out of the ground. We exhaust his dialogue, and then we'll meet him later on. From there, we're going to make our way back down to the road, hit this side of Grace, and then make our way across the bridge. There's a pumpkin head enemy here. We're not going to fight him right now, but there is a smithing stone located somewhere around here on this side of the bridge. We're going to go ahead and pick that up, make our way across the bridge into the next area. Now you can talk to this merchant. He sells a few things, a cookbook that we want to grab up at some point. And then we're going to continue eastbound on this road. There's a cemetery located around here. We're just going to go ahead and bypass that. And then located right about here is going to be an NPC. We're going to talk to that NPC, and then the next time we meet him will be at the Round Table Hold. Once we exhaust his dialogue, which is very short, we're going to continue eastbound and hit this side of Grace. Now at this point in the game, I was transferred over to the Round Table Hold. Okay, the cutscene for the NPC talked to me, and then we transferred over to the Round Table Hold. All right. Usually, a lot of times when you're doing these runs, if you don't rest at the side of Grace, then you'll normally hit it up at the Smoldering Church when this happens. But since I decided to rest at the Summon Water side of Grace, I was transferred to the Round Table Hold after a cutscene. Inside of the Round Table Hold, there's a lot of NPCs. You're going to go ahead, exhaust their dialogue. There's some merchants in there and armor in there. And you can go through there, buy whatever you need, upgrade materials with that blacksmith. Now, at the Storm Shack, at the Storm Hill Shack, the NPC that we talked to there, for me, she appeared at the Round Table Hold at this point. Now, there's some dialogue options between the armorer. You can talk to him about her, then talk to her, and then the armorer again, and you kind of go through back and forth between those two, exhausting their dialogue, having a conversation. You're kind of like the middle person between their conversation. And then the next time you visit the Round Table Hold, she will be an available merchant who actually upgrades your summons. So whenever you're done with the, all of the NPCs there, all of the dialogue there that you want to take care of, purchasing any items, you're going to want to go ahead and fast travel back to the Summon Water Village. From here, we're going to make our way into the Summon Water Village. Now, there's a boss here, and there's some items that we can pick up, but we're not going to focus on that. Really, what we want to do is we want to head on the east side of the village, around the ledge, and then hit in this vicinity here. And you're going to see a bunch of turtles that are guarding a stairwell, as well as an imp statue. We're going to use the stone sword key that we picked up, and we're going to make our way down in there. Now, in there is a chest with a talisman, the green turtle talisman, and this talisman is going to allow us to regain our stamina back quicker. So it's the talisman that I like to use in the beginning of the game when our resources are pretty limited. Once you pick that up, you're going to go ahead and continue eastbound on this road all the way to the Smoldering Church. Now, the Smoldering Church, if you go through the front entrance, you will be invaded by an NPC. We're not looking to fight right now. We're just trying to gather everything. So you want to head along the western side here, and then there's a side entrance into the church. You can go in there. The NPC won't spawn. You can grab the cookbooks and the side of Grace from there. From there, we're going to go ahead and head south, and we're going to make our way down the cliff to another church. Now, there is a spring torrent here, or a torrent spring somewhere around here. We're going to ride that down to this first cliff. Once you do that, you can go ahead and look off to the eastern side. You'll see a tunnel. If you go in there and make your way through it, it's very limited. There's a side of Grace located in there, but the NPC that we freed, who's a giant pot, he'll be located in there, and you can exhaust his dialogue, continue on with that quest line, but then the path forward is locked for you right now. So really, we just go in there, get the side of Grace, and then talk to the NPC. From there, we're going to go ahead and exit the tunnel and make our way down this cliff face all the way until we hit the Third Church of America. Now, the Third Church of America is going to hold the Flask of Wondrous Physic, which is awesome, and also a tier to upgrade our normal flask, right? And then right outside of the church, somewhere around here, is also a scarab. That scarab we definitely want to kill. It's going to drop a Ash of War that is good for faith-based characters. From there, we're going to continue south along this road. until we hit this giant Erd tree. Now the map fragment is located somewhere in this vicinity along the main road, so you can pick up the map fragment to kind of unlock this area if you would like. But we're going to make our way to this giant tree here, and this is the Erd tree. Now this Erd tree doesn't have a boss guarding it, so the tiers for our Flask of Wondrous Physics, it's kind of free to grab, so you can just run up there and grab it. If you want to, you can hit the river well, ride it down, very long elevator ride. There's a site of grace located here, and that site of grace then is just going to allow us to fast travel whenever we decide to make our way down there. From there, around the Erd tree, somewhere in this vicinity, is another scarab who drops another Ash of War ground slam. So if you want to pick that up, you can go ahead and pick that up right there. And then the main point of what we're trying to do here is make our way to the Mistwood Ruins. Now in the Mistwood Ruins, you're going to hear Ballad Howl. And that wolf howl will trigger another part of a quest that we need to go ahead and do so that he can aid us in a fight later on. So once you're in here, there's a treasure chest that we can grab, and there's also a giant bear guarding some stairs. You can actually sneak past and make your way down and grab the treasure chest that's inside of there that the bear is guarding. From there, what I like to do is I like to fast travel back to the Church of Ella and talk to the merchant Kale. Once you hear the howling at the ruins, Merchant Kale will explain to you who it is, and he will give you an animation, which is Finger Snap, which we'll need in order to be able to talk to the NPC here, right? The Ballad, the Half-Wolf. Okay. So from here, what I like to do then is fast travel back to the Stormgate front, or sorry, the Gatefront ruins, and then we're gonna make our way to this side of Grace here at the Aguil Lake North, and then from there we're going to go ahead and make our way northeast up to this ridgeline here. So we're just going to take this path right up here. Now there's this torrent spring located here. We're going to ride that up to this location. Now around here is going to be a bunch of giants. Now we're not here to fight anything, but located around this area is a statue that is glowing. Now the statue that is glowing contains smithing stones, but in order to break it, we need the giants to come and break it for us. So we aggro one of the giants, kind of stand in vicinity of the statue. Giant comes over, breaks the statue. We're able to get the smithing stones, which is what we want. From there, we just run away and we hit the torrent spring and ride it down. Then what I like to do is make my way eastward to this camp right here. And there's a cookbook. I just run through the camp, grab the cookbook, and then continue on. Then we make our way north from this camp to this little ledge. We jump down the ledge, side of Grace. We hit the side of Grace. Then we make our way down into the river. There is a torrent spring here, and the reason we're going to make our way down into the river is because that torrent spring will then launch us up the other side of the cliff where we can hit the Artist Shack. Inside the Artist Shack, there's a few items that we want to grab, and once we do that, you can head south, slightly south from the shack. You'll hear the scarab. You can destroy the scarab, and once it blows up, it gives you a sombering smithing stone. So if you want to pick that up, you can go ahead. But the main reason why we're coming this way is we're going to make our way down this cliff face onto this broken structure that's almost like a bridge here, and we're going to meet Kenneth Haight. Now, Kenneth Haight, once we exhaust his dialogue, will give us a quest line to clear out a castle that we're going to do later on, and then he'll give us a few items once we clear it out. From there, we're going to head southwest along this main road. You can pick up the side of Grace here, and we're going to continue along this road all the way back down, bypassing all the enemies. Don't worry about the caravan that's located here or the Mount of Warriors. We'll make our way to this patch of grass here, and there's a sombering smithing stone that we're going to go ahead and pick up. From there, we're going to continue along this main road, going south, pick up this side of Grace here at the Aguil Lake South, and then we're going to head west. We're going to head west until we hit the Seaside Ruins. Now at the Seaside Ruins, this is where we're going to go ahead and make our way to the lake, and we're going to skirt the lake all the way up until about this cliff face where the beginning area was. And located there is a body with a smithing stone on it, so we're going to go ahead and pick that up. Then we're going to make our way to the Dragon Burnt Ruins. Now inside of the Dragon Burnt Ruins, there is a stone sword key in like a tower portion. Like there's a structure that looks like a tower. It's guarded by a rat. Kill the rat really quickly, pick up the stone sword key. Now there's also in the main area, kind of like right here around the center of the ruins, is a stairwell that goes down. And if you go in there, there's a chest. If you open the chest, it's going to teleport you to a place in Caelid. Now we're not playing a mage build. That's an excellent place to go to pick up really good beginning gear for a mage. But since we're not playing a mage build, we're not going to go ahead and hit this teleport chest. But there is a secondary stairwell that we want to explore, which is more so towards the eastern side of the ruins. And this is going to hold the twin blade weapon. So if you want to use a twin blade or you're building a dex character, this is a really good beginning really good beginning weapon to go ahead and pick up. Then from there, you can fast travel to the Agheel Lake South and head southbound. We're going to follow the main road. We're going to run through the Bridge of Sacrifice. There's a giant a ballista that shoots at you. You can't get hit by it, but it's pretty easy to avoid. Their aim is pretty bad, so you just want to run past. On the northwest side of the bridge, so on the left hand side as you're crossing south, is going to be a body with a smithing stone. Pick that up, and also another stone sword key, so you can go ahead and pick that up. Once you cross the bridge, there's immediately going to be a site of grace. We're going to rest at that site of grace. From the site of grace, we're going to go ahead and go over here, and you'll see sitting down is an NPC. She has a quest line to clear out a castle and to deliver a note to her father. We're going to go ahead and do that. Exhaust her dialogue. We're going to continue south along this road. There's going to be a few items around this area and a scarab. You can bypass the items, try to pick them up if you want, but there's a lot of enemies here and a giant here. And then right after you break through is going to be a scarab, and that scarab is going to have an Ash of War. It's called Mighty Shot, so you can go ahead and kill that scarab if you want. Continue along the south side of this road, and you want to be traveling during the day. And the reason why is once we hit this portion here, if it's nighttime, you'll run into a Knight's Cavalry. So in order to avoid that, just make sure that it's daytime, and then we'll hit this Castle Morn Rampart side of grace. From here, if you want to, the map fragment is going to be located just south of that side of grace, somewhere around here. But just understand that there's going to be a giant in this vicinity here that shoots a massive bow, so just be prepared for that. It's pretty easy to see. You hear it coming, and his aim isn't that good from that far. From there, we're going to make our way back to the site of grace now that this area has been unlocked as far as the map fragment, and we're going to head eastbound up this cliff to Orida's, I believe that's how you say it, Orida's Rise. And you have to solve a puzzle here. You have to find 3 spirit turtles. Once you kill the turtles, there's one located right in the front at the stairwells. There's one located right on the eastern side. And then there's an invisible one in a little bit of water right there on the southern side. Once you do that, it'll unlock the tower. And then you can make your way up the tower and get a memory stone. And the memory stone is going to give us more spell slots. From there, we're going to head west of the site of grace. And we're going to make our way up here into the Ailing Village. There's a shield in the Ailing Village. It's not that good, but you can pick it up if you want. But the main reason why we're coming here is to go to the Kalul Baptismal Church. Now, at the Kalul Baptismal Church, you're going to pick up yet again another tier for our flask, and also a really amazing incantation, flame incantation for us. So Flame of Frenzy, I believe it's called. We don't have the faith to use it right now in the beginning, but we're going to build up to it, and that's going to be probably one of our primary spells that we're going to use. If you want to, you can head north on this plateau and pick up the on the side of grace. From here, directly west of the church is a cliff face that you can hop down, and on the cliff face is going to be, or down from the cliff face into the valley is going to be lightning strikes and a scarab. We want to kill this scarab for our faith-based character because that scarab drops lightning strike. We're not able to use it right now with our faith requirements, but again, we're going to build up to it, and then we're going to have 2 really good spells, incantations right from the beginning. Okay. From there, once you kill the scarab, you make your way down into the deepest parts of the valley, and there's a tunnel right there on the southern side of it. The reason I like to go in there is just to get the side of grace to make it easier for our fast travel back. Okay, from here, you can make your way out of the tunnel and follow along the valley. You'll find a torrent spring here around this vicinity, which will shoot you up to this path on this ridgeline. You can follow that up, bypassing all of the enemies, and make your way along this main road from there. And you're going to follow this road all the way up to the Church of Pilgrimage, which again, you're going to find another tier to upgrade our flask. And then from here, we're going to head southwest. As we head southwest, we're going to hit the Tomb Sword ruins. Now, outside of the Tomb Sword ruins is a weapon that we definitely are going to use through this playthrough and that we want to pick up right now, and that is the Winged Scythe. The Winged Scythe now requires a lot of strength, dex, and faith to use, so it's going to take a little bit before we can have the stats required to be able to use it, but we're going to pick it up so that once we hit it, we can immediately equip it. Once we make our way out of there, we're going to continue west until we hit the Fort Church America. Again, at the Church America, we're going to go ahead and pick up. Another tier. Backtracking just a little bit, here at the Tombs Ward ruins. Right here on this little structure that's broken off is a scarab. If you kill that scarab, it does drop another Ash of War for you. Right? Divine fortification, I believe, which increases your holy resistance. Going back from the Fourth Church America, we're going to make our way south along the beach here. And we're going to be focusing on the Isolated Merchant's Shack. And the reason why we're going to stop here is we want to go ahead and pick up a lantern. And a lantern is going to replace our torch, allowing both of our hands to be freed for our weapons. So whenever we're exploring dark areas, we can go ahead and go in there and then just put our torch on instead of having to take off one of our offhand or whatever the case may be and lose our shield. So that's something that we definitely want to purchase off in the beginning. Okay, and then from there, the last thing that we're going to go ahead and do kind of for the prep work is make our way back to the gatefront, and we're going to take on the gatefront ruins. Now you can sneak around. There's a lot of techniques that you can use to kill these enemies, whatever your playstyle is, but we're going to kill the enemies that are located in here. And what we're going to pick up here is there's a caravan here that contains a greatsword. There's a caravan on this side that contains a flail. And then the most important piece that we're going to pick up here is downstairs is the whetstone. And the whetstone allows us to put on Ashes of War onto our weapons. And then from there, that is pretty much going to wrap up everything that we really need to start our adventure. We have enough smithing stones to upgrade a weapon of our choice. We have enough golden seeds to upgrade our flasks. I think we can get a total of 6 flasks from the beginning, and we have enough tiers to upgrade our flask up to the point of plus 4 or 5, which is going to give us all of our health and FP back when we use that flask until we upgrade it, our health and our FP up to a decent amount. So that's going to give us a really good start for our adventure. Right? One thing that we are going to do with our Templar playthrough, and this is the last piece here, is we're going to farm the Gatefront Ruins. We're going to farm it for 2 reasons. The primary reason is they have, some of the enemies in here have the brass shield. And the brass shield is going to be our shield of choice that we're going to use. Has 100% block mitigation on it, and it also has a very good block rating. So we're not going to use a whole lot of stamina while blocking. So we're going to farm that. The secondary reason is it's going to give us additional ruins that we can use to upgrade so we can get closer stats that we need for both our incantations and our weapons. And also they drop some heavier armor that we can use until we pick up some better armor in the game. So thank you so much for listening. This is going to be the conclusion of part 1. Part 2, we're going to do, we're going to get into it. We're going to figure out what weapon we're going to start using, and then we're going to go ahead and start our adventure. Thank you so much.
You're a... And I can also... That you're not then why... I am Khan. You know, you should buy us a craft essential, really. The kit costs, but the important. I am selling where the land has been its only tongue. Let's say. I'm glad you took. You've made an excellent.
Have you heard? They serve but you. I can play turning root to aid you. You need O to the foot. Then it's settled. Summon me. Ah, I bequeath. Use it will summon torrent. Treat him with. This way, tarnished. May I have a word? A pleasure to I and the witch. I'd heard tell of a time, and upon looking in the talk, I surmised thou art possessed of the to call forth the spectre. Ah, I was entrusted by torrents for. 'Tis a bell, summon them with the spirits will. Now it is thine. Forgive mine intrusion.
Everyone who came with me, only to have their arms taken. Did you know? It's quite a lot. You're all like heading to entice. Well, that may. But I don't have. It's scary, you know. I want to on nothing. Can you tell? and it'll be glad. It was a pleasure. Oh, tell them I love them and finally get.
See names, but let me ask, are you here? Does your fate, despite the collapse? Yes, you takes me back. Any interest? All I know, now's the time to... There's a myriad mementos I find. That's how if it grants me. Not floating your boat, well, then...
Can you hear me? Help me. I'm stuck. Hello?
Oh, I at these. Are you willing to help me? My thanks. Just give, and I'll pop.
Don't dally. Give it your all.
Ouch!
Forgive me to determine if you had the it seems my torrent, whereas I merely there is but one I can take you gathering place. Very well. Let my hand rest.
Oh, what?
Well, you're the howl of a wolf, I suppose. Next time you hear, don't fret. I just have goodbye.
Is anybody there? Someone who might be interested in rescuing the great Kenneth...
Ah, well, that's...
No.
Hello? Might open. My name is Irene. The servant's there.
been an 8. How can I? Have a safe journey. Anything else? Have a safe